All right, welcome to Game 7 of our 1976 Yankee replay. This is the first series or team season replay that I ever experienced. It was the summer of '77, and I found an APBA ad on Baseball Digest, or was it the Sporting News, and I had seen them a few times and read them again and again, and then said, you know what, I'm gonna try this out. And the rest is history. I started playing this in the summer of '77. Of course, you would play the season before, because that's the season you would get. I didn't know all that much about the season before, because I would travel a lot in the summertime with my family, so I was not in the States. But I did follow it somewhat, and I knew some of '75, I knew some of '76, and so on. And by '77, I was definitely a huge baseball fan, and they had most of the Yanks had most of the same players, so it was easy. The transition was easy. Now, 1976, right? It's 1 year after Apple is formed by Steve Jobs and Steve Wozniak. Nadia Comaneci scores the first ever perfect score in gymnastics. South African riots in Soweto. NASA unveils its first space shuttle. Fidel Castro, president of Cuba. Right? Notting Hill Carnival riots. So there's a lot of stuff going on. The United States bicentennial celebrations. So there's a lot of cool stuff happening in 1976, and now we're going to join the action here in the bottom of the 10th. It's the Twins versus the Yanks. It's Bill Campbell, ace reliever for the Twins, against Sparky Lyle. So Sparky Lyle just pitched basically 2 1/3 innings, and he retired everyone except for Weiniger, who he walked. But he's out of the game. Well, he's still the pitcher of record. Here in the bottom of the 10th, it's going to be White, Munson, and Chambliss. Chambliss is 4 for 5. White is 1 for 5. And Chambliss is 2 for 5 with a double. So let's get started here in the bottom of the inning. It's going to be Roy White leading off against Bill Campbell. And that's a 66. So that's going to be a 0. So it's going to be a second column action. And that ball is launched. And he's swinging lefty, and that's lifted to right field, deep right field, and back goes Ford to the track, to the wall, and that's gone. Walk-off home run for Roy White. We turn on the streaming, the live streaming, and White is aware of that, and he wanted to show the crowd watching that he's going to end this right here and right now and not waste any time. So this is a quick video today. Roy White in this final score now is 6-5 Yankees. Roy White hits a walk-off home run at Yankee Stadium. The crowd here in the Bronx is going nuts. They're throwing Roy White bars onto the field. Oh no, that was Reggie. That was Reggie bars onto the field. They had a giveaway, a Reggie giveaway day at Yankee Stadium in '77, and Reggie goes up and hits a home run, and they bombarded the field with Reggie bars. It took them 20 minutes. The grounds crew had to come out. They had to go over the address system and tell the fans to please refrain from throwing Reggie bars onto the field. But that is the level of which the fans in New York are intense, to that point that Roy White walks off here. He ends the day 2 for 6 with a single, scored a run, and a home run, a walk-off home run RBI. Yankees win it 6-5. The win goes to Lyle. The loss goes to Bill Campbell. And we're playing a bunch of games tonight. It's a one-roll video, Ken Castro. I love it. So, anyway, we're going to start a new game in a couple of minutes, and I'll be back online live. And I went to work early today, and I'm back. ready to roll. This is the second game I played for this. You know, one thing that I do have to mention about APBA, the results, you know, are accurate, and also you can really get through a game pretty darn quick, you know. So if I'm going to replay a season, man, I can roll right through that season. I get the stats, you know, have the experiences quickly. Now, if I want to play something a little bit longer, a little bit more in depth, my favorite is Strat Advanced. I really like the lefty righty. It's simple enough to play a game within, you know, 45 minutes. But with APBA, man, I can get through some of these games in 20-25 minutes. Especially if you got a little bit of a pitcher's duel going, like, you know, two aces. Like it was the game before this took me 30 minutes. It was actually, and I had a bunch of pitching changes on the Twins side. The game before this, the Yanks won 11-2, but it took me half an hour because Ed Figueroa just he gave up, I think, 3 hits in the game. 5 hits. He pitched a 5-hitter, and it flew by. The game flew by, even with the pitching changes. I was rolling quick. I had my pen in one hand and the dice in the same hand, and I was just rolling and writing, and so you can get really, you know, and I can start doing the stats and looking at the stats, you know, because I'm making up. This is the season I had as a kid, and I screwed it up, right? And I told this story multiple times, to where I pulled that yellow roster sheet, and every time the Yanks would go into a new series, I just picked the top 3 pitchers. So the next series, the top 3 pitchers. The next series, the top 3 pitchers. So they're always facing A's and B's. I went through a 162-game season, and I mean, after every 20, 30 games, I was like, man, they're not hitting. What's going on? Why are their batting average so depressed? I mean, I read about this game, and it says that it's so accurate, but everybody's batting 200. You know, I had guys batting 150, guys batting 200, because, of course, they never faced any Ds. You know, there was still no expansion teams. It was still 76, the 76 card set. So then, ever since that point, I said to later on, with, you know, years passed, and I realized, wow, I really screwed up when I did that. They were facing all the best pitchers. That's why their batting average was so depressed. So now I'm replaying this, and I'm going to keep track of the stats. And for example, in the last game, Mickey Rivers, the second time he's had actually, let me see. Yeah, in the last game, Mickey Rivers had 4 hits. I have 5 hits, actually. Oh, no, he had 4 hits. He went 4 for 5. Now, that would have never happened when I played the first time in 1977. So now I'm getting guys, you know, the good hitting guys. Mickey Rivers, I think, had a .312 batting average that year. And in this game, he went 2 for 6. In the last game, he went 4 for 6. I'm sorry, 4 for 5. In this game, Munson had 4 hits. He had a single, double, single, single. He went 4 for 5. You know, so guys are starting to get hits. I don't remember this ever happening. It used to be a struggle just to get 1 hit because I was always up against A's and B's. So this is much better. Now I'm using the actual lineups, and I'm having to pull guys out from different card sets because they get traded towards the mid half of the season. So I'm pulling them up because at the beginning of the season, for example, today the Yanks faced Blyleven. Blyleven, I had to pull out of Texas. We're playing Minnesota, but Blyleven was with Minnesota at the beginning of the season, but got traded to Texas and was with Texas for a bunch of years after that. I think even into the 80s. So these are the things I'm having to do to actually play the actual lineups. What was really fascinating, guys, in this game, let me show you something. In this game, Tony Oliva, see he's leading off. He played second base. But on Tony Oliva's card, let me show you. Boom. No second base. So, obviously, that's not a problem. I just made him second base 5, right, which I think is the lowest you can go for a guy that didn't really play second base very much. But he only had 123 at-bats. But anyway, that was interesting. You know, usually they're pretty accurate, and they would have added a second base there, right? But in this case, they didn't. So it got by them. I don't know if it got by the first time or got by the second time, because these are the second generation or modern generation cards. Well, 2013. Now they're doing all the master game symbols, which is something I do want to get into. I want to play the master game, but just certain aspects of the master game. Certain parts that I want, that I feel the flow easily for me, and I can include and integrate into my game without, slowing it down. Without, so I want to play do a little bit of master game, a couple of things. I don't know what, but I do want to get my hands on the master game and have it here and look it over, and that sort of thing. So anyway, that's the final in this game. The Yanks win it in the bottom of the 11th inning. Yes, exactly. Yeah, that's what guys tell me, and that's pretty much what I do in strat as well. I do the advanced. I don't do the super advanced because it requires a lot of extra rolls, whereas the advanced is so streamlined right into the regular game. You're just looking in a different place. You're looking at, is he a righty or a lefty? It does slow me down a little bit. I have to admit, I don't go as fast with the basic game. It does slow me down a little bit. That's why I haven't been doing it. And so anyway. So in this game, it's in the bottom of the 11th. Roy White, leading off the inning, takes a fastball from Bill Campbell and knocks it out of the park into the right field seats. Yankee fans in the Bronx go crazy, and it's a walk-off 7-6 victory for the Yanks. Yanks are now 4 wins, 3 losses in the first 7 games. And I'm going to set up the third. This is the end of the Minnesota Twins. Now we go to the Chicago White Sox. So I'm going to start setting up that series, and then eventually I'll hit the Mets and using strat the 2016 replay that I have going for the Mets at some point. So right now I'm going to sign off, and I'll talk to you guys soon. Hang on, and we'll be back. Take care now.